going to give it a few minutes before I say a word, and I'm not going to stop on here long because I'm on my way. I've got to go over to the airport to pick up my partner. But do you know what? I swear that the utter bullshit that comes out the mouths of people at the BBC seriously is doing my head in now. It's absolutely doing my nut in, right? So I'm pacing a little bit because I'm not on my computer, I'm on my phone, and I'm pacing because I'm pissed off, right? So I'm going to make a cup of tea before I go off to the airport to pick up my partner. What really is doing my head in is, okay, look, whether people love or hate Tommy Robinson is neither here nor there. It's irrelevant. It's absolutely irrelevant, right? The fact of the matter is that because they want to consider whether or not they want to allow him to join UKIP, and the BBC are making a big deal out of this and saying that he has hatred for the entire Muslim community, and it's not true. It doesn't matter whether people love him, like him, loathe him, it's irrelevant. The fact is, it's not true. He has never said that he hates an entire community. He has never said that he detests an entire community. He has never said he blames an entire community. I have never said I blame an entire community. Nobody is saying that we blame an entire community. We blame the fact that the likes of the BBC refuse to acknowledge this is happening on an industrial bloody scale. And then they say things like, well, the courts are the people that are dealing with it. The courts are the people that are bringing justice. Justice! Justice, let me tell you about your justice, Mr. and Mrs. BBC bullshit, right? Let me introduce you to your so-called justice system. Now, there's a man called Pete Gillette, and he's a dirty, filthy, raping scumbag. He got 18 years, and rightly so, because he's a raping scumbag. But he got 18 years. I've seen certain Muslims walk away with a 6-year sentence for the rape of children on an industrial scale. I have seen them get sometimes 3 years. They'll serve half that sentence. Half. So if they want to keep saying about, is there white paedophiles? Yes, there is white paedophiles. Yes, there is white rapists. Yes, there are more white rapists and more white paedophiles because we are still the majority in this country. But that doesn't mean that we blame an entire community. Now, like I said, whether people like Tommy Robinson, love him, loathe him, is irrelevant. It's irrelevant to what the point is. At no point has he said he hates an entire community. At no point has he said he blames an entire community. However, in the words of Raheel Raza and her husband, Sohail, there is a problem with political correctness that stops the issue being addressed equally and fairly for everybody. So if the BBC and their biased bullshit really want to challenge this, challenge it fairly. Challenge it fairly. Instead of you picking and choosing as and when you want to address the actual details of these problems. They want to sit and parade Sammy Woodhouse. Now, Sammy Woodhouse has rightly said there are more white rapists. Yes, there is. Nobody has ever said any different. Nobody has said any different. The fact that they now, and I passed a message on, so I want to make this message clear so that people can't twist what I was putting out there. So I have a friend, he's been a long-term serving officer. He's not high-ranking, but he's high enough up that he has contact with high-ranking officers. They are considering punishing all of those boys for posing for a picture with Tommy Robinson, right? That is what they want to do. So, as he says, they are considering punishing all of those lads. Not one, they are considering punishing all of them. They are definitely discharging one of them, and it is possible that they may discharge all of them. Now that is the very real possibility. But what you want to do is the likes, I don't even know what this bird's name is, I wish I did, but I actually don't know her name. You want to sit there, and like I said, people, whether you love him, hate him, loathe him, respect him, don't respect him, is irrelevant. You're lying. You're lying. He has never said he hates or blames an entire sodding community. So I tell you what, little Miss BBC bullshit, why don't you ask me on? Why don't you ask me on to talk about cases like Sarah's case that was in the Daily Mail that I shared recently? Who's a young lady that I've been supporting. Talk about her case. Talk about Caitlin Spencer, who was raped by hundreds of Muslim men. And the fact of the matter is, this is what the BBC don't want to take. They do not want to accept this, right? Is that whether we like it or not, whether they like it or not, right? The fact is, it's really this simple. Muslims are approximately 5% of the population in accordance to government statistics. If we said that half, and we know it's more, but if we said that half of that was Muslim men, that's 2.5% of the population. According to statistics, because you love your statistics, don't you, little Miss BBC? According to the statistics of the Quilliam Foundation, they are responsible for 84% of the grooming gangs. There is a huge difference between the white nonce guy. They don't say, I'll tell you what, bring your brother, bring your uncle, bring your cousin, let them all have a go. These men do. These men do that. I am so sick to death of this absolute bullshit they come out with. Let them sit. Let them sit with a young girl whose life has been torn apart and tell her. Because Sammy Woodhouse is not the only girl this has happened to. So you value one girl's opinion. What about all the other girls? Do their opinions count for nothing? Do they not matter? Does it only matter when it suits them? Is that what we're saying now? It only matters when it suits them. I am so fed up. I'm sorry, I've got to swap arms because I'm like I said, I'm doing this on my phone. I had no intentions of doing a live feed. I'm going over to pick my partner up. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted a nice relaxing weekend. I had no intentions of doing a live feed. But I've just watched this where they've got Gerard Batten on there. And they're penalising because he criticises what he classes as the ideology. He criticises the ideology. What is wrong with criticising Islam? Even if people don't agree with us, we have the right to criticise all and every faith in this country. We have the right to criticise all faiths and none. You want to turn around and say that some guy is a Christian and he's gone out and he's raped a girl and he's done it and said, you know, here are my Christian brothers and sisters, come and have a go. Then criticise that, if that's happening. I have friends who are very, I suppose you could say, devout Christians. Passionate Christians. They love their faith. I love them. I have friends who are Catholic. I don't think all Catholics are rapists. I don't think all Catholic priests are rapists. I don't think all Muslims are rapists. But I do know that if, according to the government, and the BBC bullshit that if Muslims are 5% of the population and 2.5% of those were men, and they're responsible for 84% of the rape gangs, we have a sodding issue. And I think when you sit and you see inmates sitting in a prison in this country with their fucking Xbox and their PlayStations and their fucking everything else you can imagine, I know people who can't afford that shit who've never broke the law in their life. And she wants to talk about the justice system. The justice system is giving them justice. Bullshit, is it? Bullshit, is it? These girls, after they have been raped, are often punished and abused further by the system. I know because I deal with that part of it. That's what I do. So I know. I know for a fact that these girls continue to be abused and victimised and treated like second-rate people. I'll tell you what, little Miss BBC, do yourself a favour. Do us all a favour. Contact me and ask me to come on your show. And I will bring you, not one, not two, but many different girls' experiences. Argue with me and tell me I'm wrong. Argue with me and tell me I hate all Muslims when it's not true. When I can sit and explain to you about the Muslim women I've taken into my home. This bullshit that they want to sell, this is utter crap. That anybody who speaks out against these Muslim rape gangs must therefore be racist or intolerant or are blaming the entire community is a lie. It's a lie. It's a bullshit lie. Because if that was the case, Raheel Raza wouldn't have stood at the side of me and said, these men are taking sex slaves. Her words. She's a highly respected Muslim woman, so why don't you invite her on, Mr. BBC man? Little Miss BBC woman. Why don't you invite her on? Let's have her on there so the truth can be told. Instead of the lies and the bullshit. I am so sick to death of sitting there and watching this crap coming from the BBC. The sooner that every single person does exactly the same thing and says, sod you, you're not getting a brass farthing out of me until you start reporting the truth. And like I said, whether you love him, hate him, like him, loathe him is irrelevant. He has never blamed an entire community. That is a lie. But that's what you're good at, isn't it? On the BBC. That is all you're good at. Bad hairstyles and bullshit and lies. You sit there with your condescending, patronising, self-sanctimonious attitude of you assuming you are better than everybody else. Well, do you know what? You go home to the comfort of your enclosed properties. You go back to the comfort of your nice, rich lifestyles. You go and sit there and enjoy your luxurious opportunities of saying to your children, don't worry, mummy and daddy will come and fetch you. You won't ever have to get in a taxi alone and run the risk of rape. But it's all right because you've got #MeToo. You've got all that, haven't you? You've got the rich and the famous. They all want to complain because some man touched somebody's knee. But don't you worry about the fact that some girl was taken to some shitty little bedsit where she was pinned down and raped. Don't worry that these girls have to still continue to live with nothing and begging a system to help them. And as for the woman who I'm assuming is a Labour candidate, because only the Labour can come out with the shit that they come out with, who turned around and said, the justice system are the people who are making sure those girls get justice. No! The justice system failed them. It failed them then and it's failing them now. And it continues to fail them. It continues to let them down. Ask one of these little BBC wenches how many times they've been taken and forced to have abortions. The answer will be, it never happened. Not to their children. It happens to the working class children. They suffer, they endure it, and then they're belittled by the BBC. Well, do you know what? If UKIP, like I said, love him, hate him, loathe him, he's irrelevant. I hope you have enough common sense, UKIP, to overthrow that decision and let him join UKIP. I hope that all of those who were once, bearing in mind were once the EDL, also have the right to join UKIP. Because 95% of them that were not racist, were not hateful, were not bigots or fascists or Nazis. They were working class people with working class concerns. And it was ignored. And it was brushed under the carpet. All the time, that's what you do. And the BBC are experts at it. So if any of you feel the same, hit the share button. Because that's my rant done. So I'm now going to go to the airport. I'm going to pick my partner up. I'm going to enjoy my weekend. I'm going to take some deep breaths. Because if I don't, I swear I want to crawl through the screen and grab her and shake her firmly by her throat. And before they go, she threatened me. No, I'm not threatening you. It literally is just an expression. Doesn't mean literally. Doesn't mean I'm going to physically harm you. But to all those young lads, like I said, a friend of mine who has served in the armed forces for over 20 years now has told me there is a possibility that all of them may be discharged. I hope none are discharged. I hope none are. But if they are, then shame on our armed forces and their leftist bullshit agenda, because unless you happen to be mixed race, black, white, gay, or black, brown and gay, you're screwed. Don't be a white heterosexual male, whatever you do. That makes you a racist by virtue of the fact you were born a white heterosexual male. I've never heard so much collywaddle in my life. I am so sick of this now. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of people's excuses. I'm sick of the BBC. And I'm sick of the lies being told. You're telling lies. And for those who have not seen it, please go onto my page, scroll down and read the article on Sarah. Read the article on Sarah. And I suggest you at the BBC, you read it too. You read it too. And that's why I'm going to the House of Lords in a few days' time, where I will be telling them exactly the same thing, and I won't be dressing it up to sound pretty either. Because it isn't pretty. And these girls are not just raped and abused, they continue to be abused afterwards. The system abuses them. I am so sick of this. Right, okay, rant over, people. My apologies, but I had to get it off my chest. Because if I don't, I swear I'm going to burst. I've even made my arm ache doing it, because I don't normally do this from my phone. But I've had enough. I've had enough of the lies. I've had enough of the bullshit. And yes, everybody do please, hashtag I am Soldier X. I'm behind now 100%. 100%. And it wouldn't have mattered who set that up. I'd have been behind it 100%. It's a photograph with a man who, well, like I said, love him, loathe him, hate him is irrelevant. He's done nothing except trying to expose what was happening. And had the BBC not ignored it, had judicial systems not ignored it, had police not been so afraid of being called a racist, we wouldn't have had the bloody problem in the first place, would we? So, I'm now going to go and try and enjoy my weekend, although you almost managed to ruin it, BBC. And that's the worst thing you could do, is ruin my fucking weekend. So, I would get a selfie stick, but quite honest with you, I'd probably forget to set it up when I'm in a rage anyway. Everybody, I don't know who's on here, but thank you for sharing it. Hit the share button. Please ask people to start writing in their complaints, just as I have just done, and get it into the BBC and tell them that they don't speak for the working class people. And they stopped speaking for us a bloody well long time ago. And the Labour Party, you sure as hell don't represent us. I mean, it makes you laugh, doesn't it? Before I go, let me just point something else out here. Don't get a picture with Miss Tommy Robinson, because that would be the worst thing you could do and could cost you your job. But hey, it's all right, we'll bring in Jeremy Corbyn, Hamas-loving, Hezbollah-supporting, IRA sympathising, terrorist-mixing scumbag. That won't cost you your job, though. That's fine. Do you want to... I only have one word for Jeremy Corbyn. The sooner that you are kicking up fucking daisies, the better this world will be. For now, take care. Stay safe. Bye.